and welcome to the Ducking Review Show. We'll be giving you our thoughts on a few different films and be looking at trailers and deconstructing them and analysing them. And we're going to be giving them a score out of 5, but I'd say that these scores represent our anticipation and expectations for the movies. And we're going to be looking on this week's show at a few different films. The first one will be Spectre, the new James Bond film. We're also going to be looking at the SpongeBob SquarePants movie, the sequel, and Furious 7. I think the theme for this sort of episode is pretty much sequels, which is quite fitting because this is our second episode.
True. I mean, we're also going to look at the classic trailer for a film called The Wild One, which stars Marlon Brando from sometime in the 50s, I think, like
1953, I think it was.
Yeah, 53.
Top of my head.
And that's it, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a new feature, retro trailer review, that we mentioned last week and just didn't do.
Retro ducking.
So, I guess it's, well, actually, we've had some correspondence from the first episode.
Okay.
So you can get in touch with us on Twitter at the Ducking Pod, or you can email us at theduckingpodcast@gmail.com, and you can also go onto our website, shiny new at the ducking. No, that's no at. www.theduckingreviewshow.com. Continuing on from last week's show, we've had some correspondence from Stefan about our review of Cinderella, or Dirty Ella.
Filthy Ella.
Filthy Ella. Depending. So Stefan went off to the cinema with his girlfriend. I'm not sure if it was her decision to watch it or not. That's a sexist sort of observation, really. Ignore
I'm
that.
sure he really wanted to watch
I'm sure he wanted to watch it as well.
He loves animated women.
He does. And he says that it's pretty much what you'd expect it to be story-wise, which is what we said. And also agreed that he said it looks aesthetically pleasing. He said it looked really, really good. He does comment that Cinderella isn't his favourite Disney film, so I was bordering on slitting my wrists once the novelty of how pretty it looked wore off. Wow.
It's a bit extreme.
That's not what I'd want to feel whilst watching a Disney film.
He went beyond, I'll just have a nap. Yeah. No, I want to end my life now.
End my life in a really graphic way.
Yeah. That would ruin the film for people.
That would.
Kids film as well.
Yeah.
Kids film. He says, also, I don't know why it annoyed me, but every character pretty much wore the same clothes every day.
Which is like what you would do in a cartoon.
Yeah, I'd agree.
You know, like, saves on, like, crayon costs or whatever.
That's how all film, like, animated
but
films are
you
made.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they animate one dress per character.
But it's also the identity for each character.
Yeah, it makes them identifiable.
Yeah. Sorry, Stefan, you should have expected that.
On that, though, come on, this is like a big budget
Cinderella doesn't
film.
wear the same clothes all the way through, surely.
Yeah, she has that big-ass blue dress, doesn't she, at one point?
Yeah, I don't know much more upon it than that, but okay. I mean, that's something that really annoyed him.
It's not like, you know what I mean, they're not drawn frame by frame.
No.
They could have changed them.
True.
It's obviously, it's a design choice, isn't it?
He says the best bit was Rob Brydon's 2-minute cameo, which actually triggered a couple of lulls for him. And, this is nice. He says, keep up the podcast, guys. Definitely kept me entertained at work. Nice.
That's nice.
Your rating of Cinderella's trailer also reflected the film well.
Right, so that was a 3 from Matt, 2 from me, and a 1 from Carl.
From me. Yeah.
Wow,
so it's pretty poor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think though, like
crap to average at best?
Yeah, with the Cinderella and in like the modern age of like Disney doing their own cartoons as films, like the fact that they've stuck to basically the standard plot of Cinderella did not, from what he says, it's basically Cinderella. Like you look at Maleficent, that is like they've completely gone at a new angle at it and done a film which is different and to challenge the preconception of what that is. and also like Snow White the Huntsman. I know that wasn't Disney, but again, that was a different take on it. And the Alice in Wonderland was a different take on it. So it's kind of different that they stuck to to the fairy tale. So it's almost like they're bucking the trend by being traditional.
God, that's really interesting.
By being traditional, they're being different.
Yeah, which is, you know, that's how things are these days. I guess there's no like postmodern take on the Cinderella fairy tale.
They've done a HD remake.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all said.
Which is what we said, like when we saw the trailer, wasn't it?
Yeah, we did, and I think that we were left wanting it to be a postmodern take on it. I was, but yeah, that's really interesting that you said that it's
booking the trend. It's booking the current trend of people doing fairy tales, but then making it kind of modern or different, or well, not modern. They're never modern, but they're doing a different take and a different angle on, you know, traditional story. So that's kind of different. Yet the same. Yeah,
it's really interesting. Well, unfortunately, like we've had a few correspondents, but it's all just telling us that they really enjoyed it. If you want to weigh in on any of your opinions and what we speak about today, or even previous episodes, please sort of text in if you wish, or rather Twitter, I should say. Tweet us, and or email, or go on the website www.theduckingreviewshow.com, and that's a really good way of getting in touch with us. And I guess we're going to leave behind our first episode now and move into our first look at the sort of trailers that we're looking at today. And I think starting with Spectre.
Bond.
Bond.
Splendid.
Directed by Sam Mendes.
Yeah, who directed Skyfall.
And I really enjoyed Skyfall, so
I did.
I
thought it was a really good Bond. I know it is a little bit divisive in that a few people I know don't like it at all, but and they have their reasons for not liking it. But I really liked it. It was, I guess, significant, and there was a lot of looking back at previous Bonds in that particular film. But then it did come out in the 50th year anniversary of Bond, so you can see why they had the classic DB5, DB6 Aston Martin. They had the cool thing with the Komodo dragons, which is kind of a riff on the James Bond running on the crocodiles' mouths in Live and Let Dying. And there's a lot of things that kind of look, you know, a lot of references back to old Bond films, which were really cool. And it was, you know, it was very definitely this is the 50th anniversary of Bond, and this year's Bond film.
Was that the only thing that led into this? I mean, I really like old Bond films. I'm a big fan of old Bond films. So I like this kind of we're going to call it a reboot, starting back from when he became Bond.
Well, it's very weird, because the end of Skyfall, spoiler alert. You're setting up the situation where you've got the Moneypenny in the office. You've got M is now a man. He's in his office behind the big leather door. It's very much
Dr.
No, Connery, Bond.
Yes.
Kind of look to it, hasn't it?
Hashtag Connery Bond.
Leather-bound books.
Leather-bound doors.
Mahogany.
Yeah. Which is really cool, and I'm really glad they've done that, because they've been kind of with Casino Royale. It's very weird because you had Casino Royale, which was really good, but that was Bond's a new agent in this because it's the first book, and of course they do that. But then they have Quantum of Solace, bit crap, and then Skyfall. But by the time it's Skyfall, the way they portray Bond is he's a dinosaur and a fossil of the old way of doing stuff. And is he still relevant in an age of cyber technology and cyber terrorism? And is there any need for Bond? And it's so weird that they went from Bond as this new thing, a film that doesn't really count towards much in the middle, then to Skyfall. And you kind of, do you know what I mean?
It's a bit disjointed.
They kind of they missed out a whole Bond's mission.
25 years.
But it's almost are you just meant to assume that all the other Bond films have happened in between that, even though he's had a different face and it's set in a different age? And I think you were meant to kind of assume that these things happened in between, even though they're different
Yeah,
Bonds.
so the sort
up
of
to that point.
the bookend in the old
because
films, essentially.
it's completely like I suppose he does get the DV5 Aston Martin in Casino Royale, but by the time it's at the Skyfall house, it's got all the gadgets on it. You know, it's bulletproof. It's got the bulletproof shield that pops up out the back. You know, so it's got all the gadgets.
Yeah.
So it's basically the Bond car from Goldfinger.
So, digging into this trailer in particular, so it's Spectre, so that relates back to what you're saying there, and like the first time we saw Spectre was in Doctor No, in movie wise anyway, was 1962. So Special Executive for Counterintelligence, Terrorism, Revenge and Extortion.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Is that what it actually stands for?
Yeah, that's what it stands for, yeah.
God, that's a mouthful. That's like S.H.I.E.L.D.
Well, that's why they call it Spectre, isn't it?
Spectre, yeah. So yeah, we've got this whole harking back. So you enjoyed the trailer?
I'm glad. I like the trailer.
You obviously
like, what's
did.
interesting about this trailer? Like, we'll go through the trailer, I guess, step by step as it happens.
Did Matt like the trailer?
I suppose I did.
Anticipation for the film?
Well, no, Matt, the first question is, do you like Bond?
Yeah,
Well, that's a good first question. Right, with Bond, I do like some Bond.
That's fine.
I like me some Bond.
That's the story of many people.
But
like, seems some Bond.
But I don't know, I go through these phases, like peaks and troughs, where I'm like, oh yeah, Bond. Gotta get me some Bond, like a bit of that.
Yeah.
And then other times I'm like, nah, come on, it's a bit cheesy. It's a
Right
bit
now,
old
your
hat.
feet.
But
Yeah.
do you think, like, because the thing is with Bond, you got Connery, generally really good,
Yeah.
from a couple of them. A couple of them are quite good, generally shit. You got Lazenby, probably he's in the best Bond film
Yeah.
of them all, but he's one of the worst Bonds.
Yeah, crap Bond.
Crap
Bond,
Bond,
good film.
Yeah.
Interesting,
Dalton, good Bond. Really good Bond,
Yeah,
actually.
Really good.
I
But
like Timothy Dalton.
the films aren't that great.
Yeah. Pierce Brosnan, Matt's favourite Bond.
Hashtag bring back Bosman. Brad
Yes.
Well went wrong. Hashtag bring back Brosnan.
Oh, see, I don't
Yeah.
think Brosnan's very good.
Oh, come on.
but-
GoldenEye.
I got back into it with Brosnan. No, it's when I was young enough, I guess, to, it was
no,
exciting.
But
GoldenEye.
It's alright.
It brought us the
GoldenEye's
best
good.
N64 game ever.
True. I'm a Brosnan fan.
It's alright. GoldenEye's good. The second one, whatever that was called, was
Tomorrow
alright.
Never Dies.
Some of the worst Brosnan.
But some of the
Brosnan
worst
Bosnia.
films of Brosnan films, like the last 2 or 3, are shit.
Yeah,
Shit.
there they are. Some of the worst Bond films are Brosnan Bond films.
Yeah,
That
so,
is
like-
just the fact they haven't
And
aged
what's
well.
interesting is the guy who directed GoldenEye is the same guy who directed Casino Royale.
Really?
Yeah.
He's
That's why,
brought Bond
like-
back twice.
So...
I think it's called Martin Campbell. It's called something Campbell. I'm pretty sure it's
So
Martin.
we've got this kind of harking back to things. Right.
But anyway,
Yeah.
back to Spectre.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this trailer starts with Moneypenny, doesn't it? Giving
Yes.
Bond the document.
Before that opening, I said this to you before I watched it. I was like, I know what's going to happen in this trailer. It's going to fade in. There's going to be some epic music and a sort of nice fade into a lovely scene. It's going to be like, bam,
Mise en scène. Yep.
bam. It didn't do it to that like
No, it
sort
didn't
of
do
effect.
like that.
But
But it did fade in.
It fades in, which is standard.
Yeah, but it was like across the scene of is it MI5 or 60 works where I was
You
getting
do
this
see
wrong.
the old Bond
And it's
filmed
all,
in
it's
from
all
Skyfall.
blown up.
You know, like
That bit was
I
cool.
mean,
That was cool.
And the music's awesome.
What's interesting
I
about
like
this
that.
film, like straight away, the mentioning Skyfall, the referencing Skyfall, which is interesting.
Yeah.
What was it?
Because-
From the ashes of Skyfall or from
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
remnants
yeah.
of
Document
Which
Skyfall?
is,
found.
well,
I've
you know,
got-
they've got shots of the building being bombed out, which happened in Skyfall. Skyfall being the like most successful Bond ever made.
Yes. That's
You know, so
referenced
obviously
in
it's
that.
saying from the makers of Skyfall.
Yeah.
Do you know? But
Yeah.
no, it's a bit more subtle.
But it's the continuation of the story.
Yeah,
They
so
are
it's
fully
like-
continuing the story, which makes it exciting. And I, so I've got like down about that MI5 building being blown up. So like you just said there, they're continuing on from that, and
Which is different for Bond films, though, isn't
yeah,
it? Because
it
they
is.
don't normally follow on.
Yeah.
and you've got this
But you
continuation.
see that they kind of have, like, Casino Royale and Quantum of Solace followed on, but then Skyfall had naught to do with them.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to come back to a certain character in the trailer.
They know they're onto a good thing. I
Yeah,
guess
they're
is what
kind of
we're
They're
saying.
trying to develop that arc, aren't they? I
Yeah.
suppose?
Story-wise, I noticed, and I felt quite clever about this, but I think you've got more to say on the matter. When he's going through his personal effects from the burnt-out
Yeah.
Skyfall estate, and he's looking through his little box of treats, which probably isn't treats, and there's a form, is
It's an
adoption form about his guardians, so...
His main guardian, something Bond, but then temporary guardian is a person called Oberhauser. Now, Oberhauser is the name of... I'll just, like, Christoph Waltz, who's in the film. His character is called Oberhauser. But also, like, if you look into it, in the Octopussy novel... there's a character, it's not in the film, just in the novel, there's a character who's in it called Oberhauser. Bond mentions him, and I've written down a quote.
Right.
It says, "He was a wonderful man. He was something of a father to me at a time when I needed one." That's the quote Bond says.
Wow, look at you with the research! Look at this!
I'm blowing my mind.
We've got professional!
In the Octopussy trailer, in the Octopussy novel.
Right.
So obviously this Oberhauser is the guy, so he's some dude. But that,
A
to
guardian.
me, a guy, someone
Yeah.
who looked after him when he was a kid, when his main guardian wasn't there.
Right.
Now this character that Christoph Waltz plays is also called Oberhauser. He's obviously
Yeah.
not his guardian,
Right.
because they're the same age. But to me that's
I
like...
feel stupid for just noticing a document.
But to me that says like, and you know, this character, like, I guess we'll come back to that later. We'll talk through the trailer maybe. We'll come back to this later on when we get up to the bit with Christoph Waltz, because I've got some thoughts on it.
Yeah, I mean, I've said what I want to say on it.
Yeah.
I've exhausted my notes.
But that's
one,
really
of, one of my
interesting.
biggest notes was the music reminds me of Batman.
Oh, yeah.
And then I thought, I'm going to look into this. Is it? It's obviously not Hans Zimmer. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I know
It
Hans
could have
Zimmer.
been.
Yeah.
But I thought, no, Bond, they're normally going to stick with people they know, I'd have thought.
Yeah.
No? It's not that
John Barry.
It's not that bombastic, is it?
Well,
It's Tom
look,
Arnold. It used to be Tom
Bond,
Arnold,
It's
didn't it?
Thomas Newman now.
Yeah.
right.
And he's had some good credits. Because I thought, who's this guy? Who's this lad they've got in on this? And he did Skyfall, but he also did the music for Wall-E
Oh,
Good
believe it or
music.
not.
Yeah.
and Shawshank Redemption.
Awesome film.
So some weight behind
So
it.
yeah, he's been going for a while, man.
Yeah.
He knows his stuff. Carry on.
So yeah, the
I
next
like
bit in the trailer.
Expect a good soundtrack, Lee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So the next bit in the trailer is the bit with Mr. White from Casino Royale.
Breaking Bad.
No, Mr. White, the guy who's in charge of the quantum organisation, isn't
Right,
he?
yes,
He's the guy.
Quantum Solace,
He's the
yeah,
guy.
yeah.
Yeah, he comes in at the end of Casino Royale, and he's in Quantum of Solace, and there's an organisation called Quantum that everyone thought, oh, this is the new Spectre at the time.
Right.
And obviously now we got Spectre back, which actually boils down to rights, because someone else owned the rights to the name Spectre. The
Really?
company that made the film, the Sean Connery film, what's the shit?
Thunderball.
Not Thunderball, but the remake they did of it with Sean Connery
Oh,
in the
God.
80s. Never Say Never Again.
Yes.
Right, was a non-canon Bond, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So they owned the name Spectre for a bit,
right.
and that's only just now reverted back to MGM, which is why now we got
That's
Spectre.
interesting.
Knowledge bomb.
Yeah,
Dropped.
right.
you've blown up. I'm so glad you know all this crap. 'Cause I'm learning so much Bond right now.
Go.
So Mr. White is talking to him. Really good quote again. It's like, what is it? You're a kite dancing in a hurricane, Mr. Bond.
That bit
that
was
is
really good.
good.
So that's who that guy is.
He's
Right.
from Casino Royale. and
I
Quantum.
wondered because at
Right.
first when he was talking, I thought, God, Christoph Waltz sounds funny.
And then Bond puts down the ring, doesn't he?
The
Yes.
Spectre
The
ring.
Spectre ring, the logo,
Yeah.
the octopus with the tentacle, which is the exact same design ring as is in Thunderball. Do you all wear that ring in
I didn't
Thunderball?
spot that. I mean,
Yeah,
I knew the ring, but is it exactly the same? I
Yeah.
imagined it as a bit of gold with an octopus.
No,
like,
it's
made
exactly.
of
It's
gold.
pretty much the same.
It's like it's just stainless steel ring, isn't it?
Yeah.
With the
That's
octopus
cool.
on.
Because
It's
they don't
cool.
want to draw attention to it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So yeah, so
But
that's
they're
in
wearing
there.
a ring. I mean, like I
Who
always
wears
when I
rings?
watched that, I
Yeah.
thought, if you're gonna be secret, probably don't wear your little freaky symbol on a ring in public. Keep
Yeah.
it a bit
If you
more
do,
secret.
they might just wear it inwards, on the inside of the finger.
Yeah, it's like James Bond would be wearing dog tags that just said Bond Spy just hanging round his neck.
That's his
So, yeah.
holsters on the outside.
MI5.
So anyway, so you got that bit there with Mr. White,
Yes.
and then it cuts to some sort of funeral procession with Monica Bellucci.
Yes.
You know the woman.
Yes.
She's absolutely gorgeous.
Did you notice?
She's going to
on
be
this-
the fittest ever Bond girl, and she's like 50.
Did you notice on that part at the beginning? It shows you that big scene where it's like, oh, look at this religion, because there's the giant cross,
Yeah.
and then directly underneath that looks like Christoph Waltz from the back.
Oh, it could be. I don't
Because
know.
that was the
I
first
didn't
thing I thought.
spot
That's
that.
Christoph Waltz
Right.
Possibly
because
is.
he's only, you know what I mean, just the shape of him. He's
There's
only,
a lot of symbolism in this bloody
Yeah.
show.
Yeah, of course it is, and it's because they're trying to like paint a
they're
picture
trying
without
to-
showing
yeah.
too much.
It's
He's
like
giving
a-
out all these
it's a
little
teaser.
teasers and hints and just letting
This
you
is fuel for
unpick
us.
it.
It
Yeah.
is. It's a thick,
You know what I
dense
mean?
chew. It's like
So yeah,
a
you've got
lovely
that
rich
bit.
toffee.
It doesn't say stuff, but someone's obviously died.
It's like a
Probably,
chomp.
do you think
It's-
possibly the person who's died is that Mr. White? Because he says something
Possibly.
about I was expecting a face of death and I didn't expect yours. He says something.
Yeah.
It's not that,
Yeah.
but that's what he says.
You
He's
also,
pretty old as well.
I know before you spoke about like got to be careful here because they could be wandering into Austin Powers territory.
Well, I was going to
or-
come back to that later,
Yeah.
so we'll come back to that
That's
later.
okay. Well, we've got a couple of other films to go through. Yeah.
But from that funeral scene, we then see Bond going along in his new Aston Martin.
yes.
Very beautiful, by the
Star.
way.
Gorgeous car.
Car is the star. Car is the character. in
But
the
that's
film.
literally like 2 seconds. And then we see Bond in some little tiny boat going across the lake in the Alps.
Yes.
Which, yeah, which takes us to like the kind of the main scene.
God, there's another page.
Christ,
You know, a few lines.
He's put some work in here.
right.
Good. He's done
Which
well.
he comes in, which goes into like the meeting, the Spectre meeting,
Yes.
and the Bond walks in from the back and see it, and you
Yeah.
got someone sat like you got people sat at the table. Christoph Waltz in shadow, kind of like Blofeld always
God,
used to be.
It was the. Did you not?
And you
think,
got that bit of music, like a music box style Bond theme.
Yeah. I
but
like
did you not think the shadow they put over him looks so crap? Like I bet in the film his face is not in shadow.
No, but that's totally what they do. That in, I think it's in From Russia with Love. They do that exact thing.
Where it's
Yeah.
like the lighting's behind him.
Yeah.
So you're
Yeah.
like his face, you should be able to see what he looks like.
No, but that's kind of that's
And it's like
that's,
someone's
that's,
just put the finger over the
We're,
front.
we're playing with
no.
old Bond
Well,
tools.
that's like
yeah.
a Bond.
Yeah.
You know, that's
Cinematic
kind of a
tools.
part of the Bond iconography. Completely, is
Yeah.
the iconography
I know
of
what you
Bond.
mean.
And you can't
Yeah.
change. If you're going to do a film about Spectre, you need a film where you got the main Spectre dude in
It's
shadow.
just face blank.
Yeah, well,
out.
they're going like really deep. I mean,
Yeah.
they're going head first
Yeah, of
into
course
this.
they are. It's what people
Brave.
want. Yeah.
It's good. It is what.
It's what you
I
want.
think
Yeah.
it is.
Sky.
Yeah.
What they're doing, they're delivering on the promise of Skyfall's ending.
Yeah, they are.
Like
yeah.
this is old school Bond now. They can't then go and make a Pierce Brosnan Bond.
no.
They're gonna make a Connery-esque
burn,
Bond.
burn your hashtag, Matt. No
Hashtag
more-
bring back Brosnan. Do it.
Burn,
Do it. Let's
burn.
make this happen.
But like, what I wonder is Christoph Waltz, his character on IMDb is called Oberhauser, but is he meant to be Blofeld? Because I think if he's Blofeld, it's Austin Powers.
What do you think?
Yeah.
The name on IMDb is just a red herring.
No, like he's called that. It's on the papers, but like
Yeah.
he's Blofeld like a code name. But if that's
Ah,
the
right, I see.
case, like obviously like Oberhauser was Bond's
Yeah.
guardian at some point, right?
How? Right. Well, what if it's his son or something?
Well,
It's
exactly.
the
If
same-
it's his son,
That's what we're hoping.
Yeah.
so that kind of makes
Right.
Bond and Blofeld brothers. If it is Blofeld,
Yeah.
Wow, what the
Which-
dynamic they've done there.
which is Austin Powers 3.
That's what he's worried about. He
Oh
doesn't
my
want it to
god,
go
it totally
down.
is, isn't it?
Yeah.
With Scott.
Yeah. Well, not with Scott. With how Dr. Evil is Michael Caine's son, and so is
Yeah.
Austin Powers.
Oh god, yeah, I totally missed that. Yeah. I know what you
And
mean now.
like, I remember reading an
Wow,
interview.
God, I failed
with,
so hard there.
I think it was Mike Myers. I think it was, and he was saying, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but he was saying we ruined Bond. He said that we parodied the hell out of it so well that they had to steer clear of these devices, these reoccurring themes, and that we ruined Bond. And so now, as enough time passed, Dr. Evil, there's enough time passed that.
I mean,
do you think it's going to go there? Lee's worried it's going to be Dustin Powers 3.
Well, it's going to dive in a crushed velvet suit.
No, part of me is kind of worried that I don't think Blofeld should be someone Bond knew as a kid. I just don't think it should be. Someone in Spectre, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, but the main band shouldn't be.
For the majority of people, though, it's not going to bother them.
Well, no. It's
true.
Well, for
me.
Like you say, what that's going to be is, for a lot of people, that's going to be the twist at the end.
Yeah,
for a lot of people. Going to follow
How
that
was your brother all
back.
along? You can't see it, I've got my finger in my mouth.
Yeah, we all have. That was really
he almost delivers as well on that part. The classic Bond line,
I've got it. I've written it down.
Go for it.
Welcome, James. It's been a long time. And now, finally, we are here. No, here we are. I got it
It's
wrong.
almost like...
My voice is really bad, but there it was.
I liked it.
It's almost... It's practically just a rewording of...
Right.
I've been expecting you.
Yeah, I've been expecting you, Mr.
And now,
Bond.
here we are.
You expect me to talk? No, I expect you to die.
I think there's quite high anticipation.
So, and that's the trailer.
Was that classed as a teaser?
That's a teaser. I mean, there's not a lot in there, but there's a lot to read into.
Yeah, but it was long for a teaser, wasn't it?
1 minute 30. That's not standard.
Yeah,
is it?
I don't know. It felt long to me.
A teaser, depends what your definition of a
way.
Teaser is, but to me, it's just teasy.
There's a lot of
someone in Soho.
There's a lot of meat on the bones, unlike Soho.
But yeah, I mean, that's the trailer, and to me, I'm really looking forward to it.
I enjoyed it. Okay, right. I think we're getting there now, aren't we? I want to go.
What's interesting, and this is outside of the trailer, there is a little bit of stuff where it shows them shooting some scenes in the Alps.
Yeah, I saw that.
Classic, Roger Moore Bond.
Oh God, is it going to do one of those ski scenes?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I want.
The fucking parachute with the Union Jack on.
No, not
the Union. Well, that's okay. So I guess it goes Austin Powers ski chase.
We're gonna have a ski chase. God. That's gonna be awesome.
Yes.
One of the things.
See, it's some of those bits that, when I was about 8, I was like,
classic
cool.
Bondage.
No, I want to go to classic Bondage. No, I'm there. Right, okay. Scores in the doors. Anticipation, expectations.
5.
Wow, 5. Good on you.
Well, no,
compared this to last week, Jesus.
No, look at
no, seriously though.
It's a bit biased.
It's the same director who made Skyfall. I'd give Skyfall a 5.
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
And I'd give this a 5. Same director. Right, okay, they've waited, right?
In the realm of Bond, I'm
gonna. It's been 3 years.
4 years. 4 years. But they waited a certain amount of time because
they wanted
Sam Mendes was doing Charlie and the Chocolate Factory in the West End, wasn't he? And they wanted him to get straight back in the next Bond. He says, "No, I can't do it. I'm doing this." So they waited another year,
right,
to be able to get the right guy to make it.
Lee's a 5. Matt,
right on this trailer alone.
Yes, that's what it is.
Oh, God,
that's okay.
I don't want people to just be like,
"It's no judgment here, not from me. Maybe from everyone else."
At Ducking Pod, that Matt is a knob. I
don't
want that to happen.
Please do.
But no, it would have been pretty low, sort of a 2 or something. But I did, although I criticised it, I did like that bit at the end with the meeting.
Yeah,
and then it's like, "Oh, Mr. Bond," and then it goes.
I mean,
and it does the smashing glass with the octopus.
Yeah, look.
And I was like, that's pretty cool. So I'm just gonna go in. I'm gonna be even and go for a 3, man.
Nice.
Okay.
Okay.
To add something to this,
yeah, go on.
Something
quick.
Really little caveat to my score. I really hope there's a scene where Christoph Waltz smokes a massive pipe.
What a comedy pipe he does.
Yeah, like Sherlock Holmes.
What was the one that was it?
It's Inglourious Basterds.
Inglourious Basterds.
Right.
I just thought, "Oh, Mr. Bond, I hope you don't mind I smoke." Bop, bop, bop.
And on
that, a blintz.
I'm going to give it a 4. I have high expectation, anticipation too. Right, I think that we're going to have to wrap Spectre up there. So next, we're going to be taking a look at Furious 7.
Furious 7.
Furious 7. Here we are. Directed by James Wan. And
so close to Wang.
easy. And this is, oh god, I've got such mixed feelings about this film. I suppose just straight off from the bat, none of us have seen a Fast and Furious movie, and this is directed by James Wan, and he did some films that I really like.
Didn't he do some horror movies?
Didn't he do Saw?
He did Insidious and The Conjuring, which I think, and Saw. Yes.
Yeah, he did the original
He
Saw.
did a Saw short. So Saw is good. The first Saw, in my opinion anyway, first Saw film is good.
First Saw's awesome.
But he's got this like history of these horror films, and like they're directed well. And
is this going to be a horror show?
is this going to be a horror show? I don't know.
What did you think? I think it looked like
the best film ever.
It did in a way. Like it looked like an 80s movie made now. More than
OMG.
Yeah.
More than the Expendables ever did.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I've got here, and these were my initial notes on it. That you might remember this. I said, "You don't get those 80s films anymore."
Yeah, you
and
totally
I
did that.
felt
Yeah,
depressed and sad, and I said, "I really like those 80s films, and I would like to see a return to some of them."
Big Trouble in Little China.
Tongue in cheek.
Well, not necessarily that. I mean, it was more kind. But I think that's a different.
You're talking about like Commando and things like that.
Commando and that sort of film, but even I don't think it has that level of violence in it.
Last
it doesn't
Action
look
Hero.
90s.
But
anyway,
now.
Yeah, it looks like an 80s movie made now, but almost in earnest. These films, it needs to take itself seriously, even though it's not serious.
It's a knife edge, that.
Yeah. Which is like what I think the Expendables did wrong is like it's like we're totally it's an 80s movie. We've got everyone from the 80s in it and some people from now, but it didn't work because it's not an 80s movie, and there were two almost like they were mugging at the camera a bit. Let's say, oh, look how 80s we're being.
Yeah, because an 80s film wasn't self-aware of itself about being made in the 80s and being a cheesy film.
Yeah,
it was serious.
It was over the top because that's what they thought was cool.
Yeah, they were making those cocksure films. I mean,
action. Yeah, a man's head exploding into plasticine. That is cool.
Yeah, this is it. Guns, violence.
I mean, it looks really good. I mean, I've not seen that many films with The Rock in it. But I do kind of like The Rock.
Let me stop you there. Did
Right.
anyone notice one of the best scenes in that? They did a nice little transition as well where it all span round. He rock bottoms the crap out of Jason Statham. What looks like through a table. It's so wrestling, it's unreal.
Oh, I don't know. I don't even know what rock bottoming is.
Oh, it was just like his old finishing move in the wrestling.
Right.
I
Oh,
thought
that's
it was
cool.
something to do with his bum, but
He's got the rock's bottom.
But yeah, I mean, we've mentioned Statham. I'm really glad Statham's in it.
right,
I like
Yeah,
Statham films are rubbish, but good.
What?
Yeah.
You
No.
know the transporter?
No, like I said, they're rubbish, but good.
yeah.
Oh, right. Oh, I was going to
That
say.
kind of 80s action.
So bad it's
film.
good.
Yeah. Well, he does a good job of taking himself seriously, even no one else
Statham.
does.
Well, no, I don't think he does. I mean, he works the right. He's got the right poker face. I don't think there's anything serious. When he's in a film where he's having a fight and then he covers himself in engine oil, he's not being serious.
No, he is. I've heard he does that day to day.
You said that, and the first scene that came to my head was I think it's Crank 2, High
Oh.
Voltage, where he has to have sex with a woman on a I don't know if it's a horse racing track, but it's on a racing track
Right.
in front of a packed house.
Why does he have to do that?
Because he's
He
like
died.
he's got like an electrical heart or something.
He needs to have adrenaline or whatever going
That's
through him to
reaching.
keep himself alive.
Yeah.
And so he has to do loads of crazy stuff.
So stupid.
Yeah, but it's classic 80s style action. Couple of points though I want to make
Go
on
on,
this film.
brush over.
The first one is to do with the name of the film. It's called Furious 7.
Yeah.
But in Japan, it's called Wild Speed, Sky Mission.
That
Wow,
is
literal.
awesome.
Yeah.
It's
That is
amazing.
cool.
It's
Why
amazing.
didn't they call
Obviously,
it
that's a
that?
reference to... Well, the
Well, what they
films,
actually do.
the
Yeah,
films
drop
in Japan are
shooting.
called Wild Speed.
Right.
That's the name
Oh,
of the
the Fury,
franchise.
isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
So they're giving it a
But
mission.
Sky
then.
Mission is they parachute a load of cars out of a thing.
Yeah, it looked
Right.
like an old like Hercules or something.
Which is nuts. I mean, it's stupid.
It's really cool though, isn't it?
And he
Then
lands
they
on the
land
road.
and do a chase.
Yeah, they look like they've modified it slightly, Carl.
Yeah,
so you know it's believable.
I mean, there's another thing I just want to mention.
Go.
Like, there's a line that Vin Diesel says, and it's this time it ain't just about being fast. But what he should have said, he doesn't say it, he might say it in the film, he needed to say, it's about being furious.
I was expecting that.
I
was expecting
It might do that. Maybe that's the best bit of the film and they haven't actually put it in the trailer like they would normally.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to ruin the film.
And then the only thing that could make that better after that is then he goes, this time, it's personal.
Right.
Well, he says, actually, I don't have friends. I got family.
Yeah, this is family.
Which is really weird. Like, it's at the point when he says, I got family, it zooms, it's a shot of Paul Walker, who tragically died during the making of this film. Yeah. And as he says, it's about family. It's a shot of him. So obviously they're playing on the heartstrings a little bit, which is fair enough. I mean, it's obviously like a
homage.
It's a tribute.
A tribute is a better word.
Tribute, yeah.
But because obviously it's sad that, tragic death.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of good that they're doing it and kind of it's in keeping with what the films are, I guess, having not seen any of them.
What we imagine them to be.
Matt, go.
Yeah, actually, I didn't write this down, but I've just thought of it when Lee said that about Paul Walker. Because I knew, obviously, he died. Everyone knew that. But I didn't realise it was while they were filming this. And I was impressed about...
Well, it wasn't while they were...
Had they finished the photography for it?
They shot some of it, and it wasn't actually while they were filming it, as such.
Oh, I know.
It wasn't on set.
Yeah, it wasn't on set.
He died in a car accident in which he was a passenger.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was badly worded.
We just need to cover... We just need to say that. So we don't look like this.
Yeah, no, you're right. They hadn't finished...
Don't send us Paul Walker hate mail.
No. God, why would you? That's ridiculous.
No, what I meant was,
Yeah.
I was in... What shocked me was how much of the film he seems to be in.
He seems to be in a lot of it.
He seems to be there right till the end.
And then they had to rewrite it. Because obviously, I presume, because there's a little bit of the film, it looks like they're at a funeral for a bit of it, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm still thinking about... no, there is a bit that looks a bit funeral.
Yeah, there is a time...
So obviously he's going to die at some point.
Do you think?
His character will die in this film.
Yeah.
Because they're going to make Fast and the Furious 8, aren't they?
Well,
he can't be in it.
I think it was either today or yesterday.
Vin Diesel was on about it.
Vin Diesel's almost let it out the bag already.
Right, so aside from that, I mean...
what I'm going to do, I did mine as almost bullet points.
Good.
What my brain said as I was watching it.
Let's have it.
Statham being a badass.
Yeah.
Love that. Gotta love Statham being a badass.
Yeah.
The rock bottom and Statham. I've already mentioned that.
You have. It was...
Kurt Russell! Exclamation mark.
Kurt Russell.
Right, good.
Sold.
So done. Okay.
And then it just says loud, brash, ridiculous. Never seen a Furious movie before. Might have to watch one.
Well, we're
contemplating
doing a Fast and the Furious.
We're going to watch this.
And then do a little 20-minute, 30-minute
We're going to watch this. We're going to get involved and we're going to give you our, pompous opinions.
Is it going to be out of, 5 tyres?
I guess to, set a bit, 5 tyres. Well, I like that. That's really good. I'm going to weigh in on what I think here. And I said at the start I've got really mixed feelings. I really do have mixed feelings about this film, and you're probably going to get annoyed now. And I'm going to go there. Just going to go there.
Do it.
I think you're right about suspending disbelief, and there is quite a lot of that involved. I mean, what we need to suspend our disbelief is the minimum amount of female characters in the film.
There's 2.
And they play very minimum roles.
There's one who looks like she's part of the plot.
Yeah,
and there's another one who's just a blue gusset.
Yeah.
At the beginning of a race.
Oh my god, what? I can't believe that was in there.
No,
it started and it was just a woman bent over.
Yeah,
and I was
it was
what
bad.
The hell?
I mean, there's things here that we can't quite ignore, and it's quite sexist.
80s.
Yeah, I know. This is why I said I'm torn. I mean, really am. It is really sexist, and all the women that star in it are sort of just sexual,
objects.
Yeah, they are sexualized massively. There's one person who plays a character. There's one woman that plays a character who's integral to the plot. Supposedly, she appears in the film twice. No, sorry, the trailer twice briefly.
I think there's 2 women who look like it's one of them out of Game of Thrones. One who's walking along the beach. It looks like it. The one with the black hair. She's like Khaleesi's handmaiden. She looks like her anyway.
I know what you mean.
I should have looked
She was in Hollyoaks, actually.
Yes, she was in Hollyoaks. Yeah. You know, I watched too much of that. So. But you have this problem. This is why I'm torn, because I was the one that said originally I really want to start watching films that are made today that hark back to the 80s. I really mean that, but I'm torn literally because of this sort of, well, it's sexist a little bit, or should I say a lot?
Well, is it sex? It's objectifying women, so I guess it is. I mean, it's not. I don't think it's sexist.
Or is it empowering?
No, it's not empowering.
Yeah, it's not.
No, it's not.
Sorry, I just had to put that in
I
there.
don't think sexist is the right word, but
I
it's
think
not very...
Natalie Emmanuel. That's
that's her.
Yeah.
What I think is that if we, we'll only touch upon this briefly, but if we lived in a world where, we didn't live in such a male-dominated industry, and that we had equal roles, and then we could look at this film and go, fully, tongue-in-cheek, it's looking back at a time that's passed, and it's funny, and it's just, but at the moment, it's borderline, propagating it, it's compounding the issue slightly. That's probably an understatement. And I'll just finish with this, which is a lovely quote given to us by a listener, and the creator of Buffy, I think. Just give me a second.
You don't mean Joss Whedon, do you? Was he the creator, or was he just the director?
I don't know. I think he's the creator, isn't he? Joss Whedon. There's more Avengers.
Right. A journalist said to the creator of Buffy, "Why do you write such strong female characters?" And he said, "Because you're still asking me that question."
Oh.
Mm.
Yeah.
And I really want to watch this film, but we can't ignore the issue, and that is something that's involved in that. So,
is that why you prefer Gone in 60 Seconds with Angelina Jolie with those sexy dreadlocks?
We are part of the problem.
I'm sorry, man.
I mean, is there anything anyone else wants to add?
Yeah,
there's
should we
few things
score
I
this?
noticed
I
about
really
the
want to
film.
see this.
I really want to see it.
There's a bit in the trailer where, I mean, it's stupid, it's totally stupid, where it's in Dubai or something, and he jumps out of that highest ever skyscraper from that window into the next building
in a car,
in his car.
Yeah.
And he jumps
Made
out
out
of
of
his
carbon
car.
fibre that would just shred before it even hit the wall.
It's just
Yeah.
like, what? And then there's another bit where Staben's fighting The Rock, and he blows him up with that ice hockey puck. And he flies out the window and he falls down about 10 flights of steps
dead.
high
Well,
onto the car.
You don't see, on that part, when he does that, it's a weird cut, that. It's a good edit. It's a good tool that they've done there, because you don't actually know what's happening, because you see, it does look a lot like a hockey puck. And I was like, how the hell did that cause that explosion?
It's a bomb, though.
Yeah. It's a bomb.
It's tiny.
No, but that's you see them things in loads of films. Yeah. It's just a little thing full of C4. But
anyway, though, the cut they do, it does that. You see the explosion, you see him fly out the window, but then the people they show dropping that smashed into a car is two people that look like they're fighting in midair.
Right,
I see. But anyway, he still falls down that far. And then in the next bit,
but it might not be him. That was just my point.
But it's just continues.
But at some point in the film, his arm is in the cast.
Yeah, but it just continues the theme of
I love that. There's a huge explosion. Oh, I broke my arm.
It slightly hurt a little bit.
Just twisted it.
It wasn't too bad. The doctor said it'll be okay. Yeah. Well, there we go. There's some suspending of disbelief. I think we all really want to watch this, and we're probably all going to watch it, and we'll weigh in on our opinions.
Yeah, this could be awful.
We're probably
just the Bond scores.
It's probably going to. Yeah, Jesus. How do we? Okay,
I'm going to give it a 4.
Right, 4.
I want to see it. I'm not saying it's going to be like Citizen Kane, but if you talk about anticipation and how much do I want to see it, 4.
Yeah, and
I want to see it 4.
Well, yeah, this is it. Yeah. We're not, you know what I mean? We're not bloody Empire.
Matt.
We're doing it on the trailers and whether it works and whether it's once you see the film.
I reckon Empire will give it 4.
Yeah.
Well, that's fine.
They're not elitist.
I
want to know what
other magazines are available and outlets to view.
Yeah, they're
films
more
and things like that.
We don't work.
We're not the BBC, so why the hell did I do that? We can edit that.
No, keep it.
We won't. We'll leave it in.
Go, Matt.
Right. I really do want to see it.
Yeah.
But not as much as the film we're going to talk about next.
Right, okay, we'll go on.
So I'm going to say 4, same as Lee.
4, I'm going... I mean, if I'm really honest, and I'm talking about juvenile anticipation and need to watch it, might even go 5, even though I think it's a bloody. Yeah, that's not my review of the film. That's a review of my anticipation and we did say expectation.
Yeah.
4. Right.
I mean, it's a categorical 4.
4.
That is so
it's 12.
4. 12 out
3
of
4s.
12 out of whatever
15.
it is. 16.
15.
15.
Oh shit, yeah. I was thinking there was 4 of us marking out before then.
Okay, so here we go. 4.
Yeah.
Next, we're going to be taking a look at. We're taking a slight change of
A
events.
detour!
Yeah, a very big detour.
Change of pace.
Very much so. Let's go to SpongeBob, a sponge out of water. SpongeBob, a sponge out of water. The second SpongeBob movie, directed by Paul Tibbitt. And, right, okay. So, it looks really slick.
It does look really good,
It
doesn't it?
looks really good.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
I honestly really want to see it. One of my notes. Is it one of my notes?
Is it one of your
Is
notes?
it just one of your mind
Yeah,
notes?
no, it is. my sign-off point, I'm going to say it now, I don't
Do
care,
it.
is looks funny,
Does.
really silly, and I want to see it. Perfect hangover viewings.
Yeah, okay, I'll go
It
with
looks
that.
really good. I mean, the weird thing was, I saw a still, a poster or something of the characters when they were
Superheroes.
and it looked really bad.
Yes, this
No.
is this
No,
is what I
really?
thought.
No,
I
no,
thought the
I'm serious.
poster looked really bad.
The poster looked
Yeah,
really bad.
I did.
But then when I see it in motion, I'm like, yeah, that works.
It works. Yeah.
No, man, I know what you mean. The poster you've seen is at our bus stop. That
Yeah,
we
the bus
Yeah.
stop poster.
I thought that looked really lame.
I did too.
That was my first sort of thing of, SpongeBob movie. And I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, but it's just the way they looked.
I thought, here we go, cashing in on some, and it looked kind of like hyper animated.
Yeah.
It looked a little bit ridiculous to me, and I was not expecting so much. In fact, it was kind of a bit of a joke that we're including it in the podcast slightly. I mean, it's coming out, but when I watched the
it's
trailer,
already out.
Shaking my
It's
head
out.
massively at you.
well, that's how I felt. And then when I watched the trailer, it
I was
completely
like, this looks
changed my head.
amazing.
I mean, there's a lot of self-referential things going on in there, but there's some really good gags. One good gag, I'm just going to go off in there, and he goes, "This is the apocalypse. I hope you like leather."
Yeah, and then
It changes to like a Mad Max.
Yeah, it
type
looks like
scene.
Mad Max,
Yeah.
apocalyptic gimps.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Brilliant.
It's so funny.
Oh man, you've all stole one of my best points.
I'll say it anyway.
Anyway,
What was it?
Yeah, well, yeah, you bastard. Squidward says to Mr. Krabs, "Yeah, I like
God, you know the
SpongeBob.
names, yeah.
leave me alone. He says, "Aren't you overreacting a bit?" And he turns to him and he goes, "No," he says, "Yeah, that's it." He says, "Aren't you overreacting a bit?" And it just does like this quick cut straight
Yeah,
away, and everyone's wearing leather and like Mad Max outfits. And then he goes, "Welcome to the apocalypse. I hope you like leather." And I was like, that's the best line of any of the things we've watched already.
But that was good adult comedy in terms
So,
of
and that's the thing of kids' films. Should a kids' film be a film just for kids, or should a kids' film be a film where kids will love it and the parent who's taking the kid to the cinema will get something out of it?
Yeah,
which is Pixar.
Yeah, I was going to
or
say it's like Toy Story.
talking Toy Story.
Toy Story was the first.
Yeah.
I think wasn't really the first one that did that.
No,
First one that really, there's some
Hit
Disney
home with it,
style
didn't it?
films, but for me,
but
well,
yeah, it has this kind of the kind of postmodern sort of thing of they're not just referencing what it's about, they're referencing pop culture and everything else, which it's that particular scene where it goes all Mad Max is a perfect example of it. And a lot of people who take the kids to watch that probably haven't even seen a Mad Max film.
Do you know what I mean? Chances are they'll get that reference.
But
Yeah,
it's such
it's the
a
whole
thing that's in
apocalyptic
the cultural everyone knows these little references, even if you don't know where it's from.
Yeah. These are stereotypical things that they reference, and I mean, like, I suppose going back a little bit when we talk about Toy Story, there, and I was saying, was it the first, and probably not. But like, I watched the first Toy Story film probably as an older child, and then when I revisited those films, I got the adult comedy elements to it, and I suppose like that's something that we would now recognise when we watch this sort of trailer, and it's something that we would. So we have like a twofold thing.
On that, there was a really nice, I think it's called a meta moment.
Yeah.
When it sort of references itself.
Yes.
Sorry to explain that.
The fourth wall?
Yeah, where one of the characters before... well, you don't really know what the premise is, but the all of the characters are heading towards the above ground thing. And as they're getting towards that, they're like, oh, it's the above. And then one of the sort of background characters, I don't know what he's called, he turns up in SpongeBob quite a lot, actually.
Oh, right, okay.
And he says, okay, all secondary characters, follow me! They leave. And they just walk backwards and leave, and it's like, oh, it's the main cast only from now on.
I mean, what I really loved, I mean, I'm going to go back a bit to like how they look like superheroes.
Yeah,
because how Plankton looks. Like Plankton, the little like one cell little dude, you know, and he's just a little tiny little speck on top of like Arnold Schwarzenegger's body, basically, in the trailer. It's amazing. I love that. Like, and then there's a bit, and like you've got like Slash busking.
Yeah,
like Slash
awesome.
from Guns N' Roses busking as
Whatever.
Sweet Child of Mine or something he's playing. It's just awesome. Like.
Well, we haven't said it yet though. Antonio Banderas.
Yeah,
okay, Antonio Banderas.
I think his character's called Burger Beard.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay.
And he's like
that's so SpongeBob.
Yeah, he's
I'm not even a SpongeBob fan, but that felt very SpongeBob. Go.
He's like well, I don't know if he's stolen. You don't really know from the trailer.
He's
got the same recipe.
There's a book that he's got, and they drop the tartar sauce, don't they? There's a shot where a jar looks like mayonnaise, but it says tartar sauce. Drops down on like SpongeBob Land, Bikini Bottoms.
Bikini Bottom. Yeah.
And that's what turns it into Mad Max Land, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh, is that what? Right.
So he bombs it with like the.
Wow.
Tartar sauce, brilliant.
Tartar sauce. Wow. I actually didn't even pick up on that. But I mean,
yeah, and they're going about the Krabby Patties and saying he's stolen it, and he goes, "No, it is you that's stolen my recipe."
Yeah,
or something like along those lines. It's brilliant.
I mean, what I love is like he's totally doing the Puss in Boots voice.
It's very Puss in Boots.
I don't know. That kind of is just his voice. Do you know what I mean? That's
just a guy being.
But you can't not think about Puss in Boots, can you?
No, because this guy being himself. I mean, like it's just he's a comedy kind of character, I guess. Like when he's brought into the animated
he
world,
sounds like that in Zorro as well.
Yeah,
it's the exact same, but it's just his voice.
It's just him. I mean, like it's funny all around. I guess that was the thing that shocked me the most about this trailer was like how much it made me laugh. And I haven't seen the first SpongeBob.
Have you not?
No, sorry.
Oh, it's really good. It's such a good
felt
film.
the need to apologise. Have you?
No, I haven't actually.
Oh, it's really good. It's so good.
I like that we've got into this, and Lee, the man who brought up all the facts about Spectre, is also the man, the only one in the team that's seen the first SpongeBob film.
Yeah, go on.
I like SpongeBob. What can I say?
I like what I see.
Come on, everyone likes SpongeBob.
It's a big thing right now. I mean, I guess they're kind of cashing in
right
on
now.
that.
It's mad.
It's been a big thing for
years.
Yeah, so 15...
It's like one of Nickelodeon's biggest exports.
So they're going into the land of movies.
Well, it's like the new Rugrats, but since it's had more longevity.
And it's better.
So, you've seen the first SpongeBob film, so this feels like a fair question to ask you.
Yeah.
And is there foray into cinema? Does it feel cinematic, the first one? Does it have that weight to it? Or could it be something that could just be a TV broadcast long term?
I think Alan Partridge did it really well. Where it's like, it's basically an episode of the TV show, but 90 minutes long.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But does it feel
what you got
cinematic?
to do, you got to stretch it a little bit to make it cinematic and take it out of itself and make it good.
But you've got to create that weight.
Yeah, which Alan Partridge did really well. But then you look at something like the League of Gentlemen film. I don't know if you saw that.
See, this is a good
Which was
point. I
awful.
didn't even see it.
It was absolutely awful because what they did was they took them characters out of the TV show and put them into the real world, but made it that the TV show was a thing outside of the real world, and kind of took it too far. I think this is just like they take these characters, and I like the fact that when the characters go to above level, they're still cartoons. No, not the cartoon. They're still that 3D kind of CGI. But they're still tiny. Very tactile.
And that's nice, like when he goes, this guy looks pretty intelligent to me. He's got like 5 heads.
Yeah, it's a man's foot.
And like, but then they do the kind of thing where they take that page from the book and they write themselves into that book as superheroes.
Right.
I think that's what happens, isn't it? And that's really cool. And what it doesn't do, it doesn't kind of piss all over what the TV show is.
Yes,
it kind of expands upon it.
And like this is just an episode of the TV show that we've made a bit bigger and better, or whatever.
It felt cinematic to me, and it felt funny and well.
It was really good.
The first thing that came to my mind when I saw it, especially because you see the posters and you think, oh wow, they're all like really nice looking CGI characters there. And I thought, is that just a poster? When you look at the film, is it just going to be the normal animation?
Well, that's the thing. What I was saying about the poster annoying me. It's like, is it now a CG movie? But what I liked was that it started off as a cartoon and then went to that, so it still kind of rang true to what SpongeBob is.
And going on from that, what it really reminded me of straight away was Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Yeah.
And how they've sort of melded the overly animated, stylized sort of characters with real people and their reactions to it, and the fact that there's a scene in it where they're superheroes, so they're full size. I say full size, human,
beefed up.
Yeah, they're like
hyper,
sort of human size.
Yeah,
should I say?
Yeah,
and there's a girl filming them.
Yeah,
and that makes me think straight away. She knows who SpongeBob is.
Yeah,
as if to say like again that it's referencing a TV show that's. Like, do you know what I mean? It's sort of like this weird.
Yeah, it's like I said, like
it's like a meta thing again.
It's very self-referential throughout, and the fourth wall's broken, and you've got these kind of.
I
think they've got that fourth wall and just smashed the crap out of it.
I think
on purpose.
They smashed the fifth and sixth wall.
Yeah.
Whatever they are.
The only trouble with that is that they have only a certain amount of cards to play, and the main joke, I have not seen the first one, but the main joke in this one seems to be being self-referential, breaking those walls. I wonder if there could be a third film, and maybe they should knock it on the head now.
I don't think there'll be another one.
No, I don't think there'll be another one either. One thing that I would say is quite important is there's that scene where he chucks the beer holders at him, and you know the elasticated plastic things that hold all your beers together. And he's like, "What is this?" And it's really funny, but like,
well, it's kind of environmental, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's a serious take-home, guys, and I always cut mine up.
Going with the political message. Look at
should always do that.
You should. Now, kids, always remember to cut up your beer holding thing.
Or Coke. I don't know. I mean,
it's in cardboard now, man. That shit's recyclable.
I think that does still touch.
Or little tiny
humour
papers, envelopes.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, like it's
wow.
It's a funny film. I don't know if you've got any more to say about it.
I don't have much more to say about it, really. I mean, it looks really good, and it's one of those things. I started taking notes about it. And it's like, well, what's the point?
Yeah,
because you were enjoying it too much. That's why.
Well, it's like, what is the point in taking so many notes on it when I've got most people have an understanding of what SpongeBob is, no matter what age they are. Well, anyone who's like our
especially
age,
parents,
so like people, you know, maybe the over 60s won't know, have an idea what it is. But that's not the target audience.
Oh, man, I'd love to take my nana to see this.
Yeah,
just know what she.
You should like, I'm going to take you towards 2 films. First one, Grand Marigold Hotel. 2, and then SpongeBob.
But
that would be amazing.
You've got this kind of
best day ever.
Holidays coming up. You've got this kind of genius thing here where like your kids are going to want to see this.
This film's out.
You're going to get something out of this, and like
it'll do well. And
I hope so.
From what I've seen, it deserves to do well.
Yeah, I mean, we should probably watch the film and give our own opinions. I think anticipation, expectation, reviews. Lee,
I'm going to give it a 4.
4. Wow, we've done well, haven't we?
This has been a high scoring show, hasn't it, so far? I like this.
Hope we have a big
man,
go.
Honestly, just because it looks so fun, it looks good. Like,
Yeah, it does look
the actual
good.
way it's been put together looks really good. It looks funny, man. I really liked the cartoons when I was younger, and I'd probably be partial to getting them up on Netflix if they're there now.
Yeah,
It's
it's
a
made
bit
me
on Netflix, yeah.
made me want to visit
And,
it. So.
on that, I don't care. 5.
Wow.
Yeah, I thought so.
Wow, 5. Yeah, fair enough. I think you've justified that. I mean, we're not reviewing the film as such.
It's so funny because, like, Matt's there saying, like, oh, yeah, I used to watch this when I was younger. Like, when you say when you were younger, you know, when you was teenager, I guess.
Yeah.
I used to watch SpongeBob when I was younger. I was, like, 20-odd. And I still
probably
loved
the age
it.
I am now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, a bit younger, maybe.
But
but I
that's the thing,
still
it
loved
spans
I still loved
generations, and it
it's
works.
It's like now it's Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah,
No.
okay.
Yeah.
There is a bit of that style of animation to it.
Yeah,
but
it totally is.
I think you did touch upon something that we've hammered home here, which is the whole sort of humour that kids can get. You've got that slapstick humour. You've got that kind of
Well, that
slightly
slapstick
beyond
humour
level.
is pan generation, isn't it?
Yeah, it is,
Everyone
yeah.
likes slapstick.
Yeah.
It's true. I'm going to give it 4. I've got high anticipation and expectations for this. So, you know, you'd be daft if you're looking for something to do with your kids and they want to watch a film. They're probably just going to ask you to watch it and you're probably going to go. But, like, fear not. You're probably going to get something out of this. Right. And I think it's just going to be time to switch to our last review. And we're going to go to Retro Trailer Review. Here we go, Retro Trailer Review, and this week we're looking at The Wild One, and this is a segment where we will look back at films and, well, specifically trailers that maybe movies that have shaped cinema or are regarded as cinematic classics. And
That we haven't seen.
yeah, the trickiest thing here is that we've decided that we will look at films that we haven't seen.
So there's no Godfather.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
forget that. Scratch that off.
there's hardly any
All of us.
Hitchcock.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we've narrowed things a bit, but you know it's interesting, and I guess like so we're going to be giving us a kind of honest sort of review of this kind of trailer. You know, same as previous trailers. We haven't seen those films, so this week The Wild One, and it's directed by Laszlo Benedek. And I guess sort of like
Joke never gets old.
straight.
That pork
That
never
is-
gets old.
That is just my inability to remember people's names. Sorry, Cucumber Benedict. Sorry. And initial thoughts on this trailer, Matt. You had a little bit written down. For
Wow.
us.
Yeah, the intro.
Yeah,
to
the whole
trailer.
thing, the biggest thing that got me, and you know I like these old films and stuff, but you always forget on old trailers that a lot of the time they didn't have a voiceover.
I'll just say right now that I agree with you, and this is interesting. There is no narration on the trailer, but there's narration.
Trailers now don't generally have narration.
But there's narration
but
within.
there was from like the 70s through the 80s through the 90s in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
This was a time of war. That voice, that guy, he must be dead because
He
he's
is
not
dead.
now.
God bless
He's
his
dead,
soul.
yeah.
In a world. Yeah.
In a
That
world
guy.
full of motorcycles.
But there's narration in the film by Marlon Brando. So interesting. Go, Matt. There's no narration. So what have you got?
It's,
Is that narration delivered as sort of like monologues?
I've not seen
Or
it.
is it like...
like in a,
Oh, yeah, of course, we've
like
not
in a
seen
film noir style,
Yeah,
you'd have like
he'll-
scene,
he's
"Tell her I
talking."
was going around on my motorbike.
Yeah, it's that. It is.
I
it
drank
is
a
that.
milkshake and then someone pooped on my seat.
It is that.
Really? Wow.
What have you got?
Well, yeah, what I wrote out
Is
was,
that?
you know, they wrote out the perfect voiceover for a trailer, but in text, and just highlighted it with the musical accompaniment.
Go on, it's gold.
So it's like, it's brilliant. Columbia Pictures.
They don't.
Yeah. Columbia Pictures presents a challenging, outspoken drama in the bold Stanley Kramer tradition. ... The story of a gang I've got it wrong again.
Hot riding hotheads who ride in to terrorise and take over a town.
Led by the streetcar man Marlon Brando as the Wild One.
I noticed one other bit, like, that came up later. Jazzed up hoodlums.
That was actually
Yeah.
my next note.
Jazzed up.
Jazzed up hoodlums.
Jazzed
Lol.
up on what?
It is weird. I'm going to
Jazz.
touch...
Jazz music, man. They were just scatty cats.
They got their little radios on their bikes listening to Miles Davis.
I'm going to touch upon something here that might like explain some of like the poor reviews that
bring it
you,
back.
that
Come
you
on.
receive upon. Like when you look at this film on IMDb, you're looking at like 6.5s. It's not a bad rating by any stretch of the imagination. But something that you mentioned there, which as I said, this film's directed by Laszlo Benedek, and
Not Stanley Kramer.
yeah, and like
Kubrick.
there's something there.
Not
Like
Stanley Kubrick.
this is somewhat of like a cash-in kind of thing. So it's like it's directed in the style, or it's told in the style of Stanley Kramer, and like you got to look at this as right. Okay, Stanley Kramer was an American film director and producer, and one of the things that he was well known for was message movies. And so he brought attention to topical issues which other studios avoided. And we're going to like, this is gold right now, okay? And you could get to see the cash-in element here. And among subjects covered in films that he did, subjects included racism in The Defiant Ones, and Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, nuclear war in On the Beach, greed in It's a Mad, 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 Mad World.
That many mads?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Man, it's such a good film.
Yeah, and creationism versus evolution in Inherent the Wind, and in the cause and effects of fascism in Judgment at Nuremberg. Right, so, but this is a cash-in. This is a cash-in film.
Inherent Wind.
Yeah, this is a cash-in film. Like that's why they felt the need to drop.
But
These days, you can.
But the
drop
film's
that in.
looked back on quite favourably. I think because Marlon Brando's in it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's Marlon Brando before he psyched off being a good actor. You know what I mean? Like, because, like...
Yeah.
I've
like,
had enough of that good acting now.
No, because he did all these films and he grew tired of it, and then, like, by the time he came to Godfather, everyone's like, yeah, Marlon Brando's washed up. Because basically he was so good at it, it wasn't the challenge anymore, and then someone came along with this amazing role, he did it, and then he did that, and then he did Apocalypse Now. Then he did pure shit after that. Pretty much.
Yeah, no,
like,
it's true.
Because he invented method acting.
Yeah.
Well, he's credited
Purely,
with that.
yeah,
I don't know
purely.
for facts.
On that, when you said method acting, it made me think of people being really rude to other people. And there's a point in the trailer where I thought Marlon Brando was going to slap the shit out of a woman. But what he actually does is he kisses her, and then they sort of push each other away.
Yeah.
And then it's like, if you can't stand the heat... This is not the words, by the way, I'm just paraphrasing.
Stay out of the kitchen!
Yeah.
That was close to
But
it.
and it's
though.
like, bad things will happen, and you think, God, he's going to smack the shit out of her. And he just
I
grabs
mean,
the back of her head and kisses her really hard, and I was like...
She's being edgy.
That's
wow.
standard, though. That's standard for that time, innit?
Yeah,
Like,
but it
strong
just
men.
looked like he was
I
going
mean,
to slap the crap
I
out
think
of
the
her.
most significant thing about this film is a certain line, which is someone goes, "Hey, what are you rebelling against?" And Marlon Brando goes, "What do you got?" You know, like,
Give that man an Oscar.
I'm going to rebel against whatever
you want.
I'm
Angst.
rebelling
Angst.
because the
It's teen
world's
angst,
a
yeah.
dick.
Teenage.
Teen angst when he was probably older than
Yeah,
a
not
teenager.
really.
We're beginning to tap in now as to why this is considered as sort of like cinematic.
But I mean, like
piece
this
and,
film, like you can draw a through line from this film to Easy Rider. It's people on bikes,
easily.
and then you got Never Without a Cause, someone rebelling.
Yeah.
Like, but I mean, that's kind of poo-pooing the like seriousness of it. But there is a line of like rebellious movies.
Well, what do we have nowadays then? Let's bring
About
this up to
rebellion
now.
now?
Yeah, about rebellion and like.
God,
but
the
hang
Hunger
on,
Games.
Stay with me, right? I'm not just talking about like rebellion as a subject matter within a film. I'm
So
talking about issues that other studios will wander away from. Like, I mean, like because if they're talking about Stanley.
So
Kubrick's
he's a
style-
slave.
Good.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
like
Brilliant example.
That is
tackling the
good.
kind of racism thing. And,
Well, I suppose
you
on
know,
that same vein, probably similarly, Django Unchained.
Yeah, Django Unchained, but I mean,
yeah,
like,
well, it's weird.
I
wasn't
know
it?
what you mean.
actually, maybe Django Unchained is closer to the Wild One
Stylistically.
Yeah. And then like 12 Years a Slave is like that other guy's films.
Yeah, they came at the real effect.
But I mean, what's weird was like with Django Unchained that come out, and then 6 months later, 12 Years a Slave come out, and you were like,
oh,
well,
these
are
this is how
films.
you do a film about slavery, mate.
Oh, this is a real film.
As much as I like Tarantino, like
I love
his
Tarantino.
films are a joke.
Wow, that's a broad stroke you've just painted there. But
I'm not saying they're bad.
No.
I'm saying they're a joke.
Compared
like,
to
what he does, he tackles a serious matter, but does it in the style that makes it feel like it's not quite so serious.
Yeah, and in fact,
it's a way of tackling an issue.
It's like
it's like when someone says something that you're not comfortable with and you laugh.
Yes.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
That's Tarantino, but like someone does something that you're comfortable with and you challenge it, that's 12 Years a Slave. I'm not saying these films are a joke.
No, I know you're a Quentin Tarantino fan, and like this might sum up a few things. Other things that Laszlo Benedek has directed includes 2 episodes of the Alfred Hitchcock Hour, which is pretty cool. The Outer Limits, 3 episodes, and The Fugitive, 1 episode.
Right, so
right.
Nothing after that film.
No, actually, I think if I remember correctly,
he went straight
there's
to
a couple, but it was TV.
Yeah, straight to.
Oh wow!
If they had videos or DVDs, they've been bargaining.
Well, how are we going to go?
How rate it? You can't rate this trailer.
Well, no, we can. You know,
we
like
can rate our anticipation and expectation.
And
maybe
if we're actually ever going to watch it.
Yeah. Okay.
Based on our trailer.
Let's do it. Let's nail it. Let's do this one.
2.
Wow.
Fuck. What?
Yeah. 2. Okay.
It doesn't look very good. Like,
for me,
what? It looks like a film that has people are sticking on like their opinions onto it, but actually it's a mediocre film.
It's a cash-in. That's what I agree.
Okay,
with.
so if it's mediocre,
come on.
No, I'm gonna go 2.
2 or 3.
I'm going 2.
3 at best.
3 at best. 2
Like
and a half.
mediocre.
Said no halves. Right. 2.
Yeah.
I'm going
All
2.
numbers only.
Right.
Well, I was gonna go
Yourself.
3 because I thought, it looks pretty good.
There,
Thing is, if we're saying
Marlon
mediocre,
Brando.
Might go 3.
Because like I'm
3
putting it
because-
out there.
yeah.
This is a big one. Never seen any of the Godfathers.
shit off.
Yeah.
That's shocking.
For someone that's
that needs
on
to
a
be
podcast
corrected.
that's about films,
Yeah.
the pad's been slammed to the ground.
Correct that. Watch Godfather. At least Godfather.
No,
Yeah.
1 and 2. Don't watch 3.
Yeah. Fine.
I've tried.
You might want to, but
Tried?
Yeah, it's just
It's
I've
not
never.
hard enough.
Right.
Do or do not. There is no try.
Okay. I think we're gonna be. I think we're there. I think we're gonna be doing this in 2 weeks' time. And just to recap, please weigh in on your opinions and correct us. I'm sure there's many.
Yeah, go on, correct me. I know you're going to
correct me. There's many
Correct
corrections to
me
be
with
made.
your dog.
Go to www.theduckingreviewshow.com and at duckingpod on Twitter, and you can also email us at theduckingpodcast@gmail.com. You've been listening to The Ducking Review Show. I've been Carl Linsdale.
I've been Matthew Downs.
And I've been Lee Davies.
Good night.